welcome to another edition of Los Chopped Greens.
I don't think that's proper Spanish.
It is when you're eating macaroni and cheese from El Pollo Loco.
That sounds like a terrible life decision, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, it's pretty. This one's actually pretty runny, so I'm wondering if it's going to be runny on the way out. Anyway,
That's just disgusting.
all right. A fantastic week of NFL football.
Was it though?
Okay, it got better. It was like an upward battle.
Yeah, but they started from the bottom, and now we're just here.
Yeah, Bengals won a game impressively that they theoretically should not have won.
Nothing the Bengals do is ever impressive to me anymore.
Now, my question to you, Luke Wright, is didn't we bury them?
The Bengals?
Yeah. Are you still...
I don't know if we did. I'm still willing to leave them buried, but...
I'll have to look through my...
I'm not...
my notes.
I don't remember if we did.
Yes,
I
as a
think
matter
we
of
did.
fact...
Good job.
Oh, queso down.
Good job.
But as a matter of fact, we did. We buried the Browns, the 49ers, Bears, Jets, Chargers. Still feel good about that one.
Yeah.
And Giants,
Yep.
again, feel great about that one. And then the Bengals were the final one on our list.
All of those I'm still perfectly okay with. So
okay. Bengals are only 2-3. I actually thought that last win brought them to 3-2. No. All right. Anyways, back to our games. Luke, as we mentioned earlier, it was an upward slope. Outside of the Patriots-Buccaneers game, which was good for all the wrong reasons, that the Buccaneers should have won that game with 3 missed field goals. I don't know if any year prior to this has been more dependent on missed field goals than this year. I mean, usually there's about 3 games per year. Maybe it's just off the top of my head, but like 3 games per year to where you're like kicking did them in. Even last year with the kickerific Cardinals Seahawks games that were the 9-6 wins in overtime, and even the tie there was a tie. Nothing had the potential of the Patriots Buccaneers. But the Patriots should have been.
No, that game was the tie. It was 6-6.
Yes. What was the second one? Wasn't it 9-6 as well? Well, not as well, but
I think that one was like between Seahawks and Niners.
Oh no! You know what it was? It was Seahawks-Rams.
Seahawks-Rams.
That was 9-6. I knew that they had a couple stinkers.
Yeah.
Anyways, what I want to talk to you about though is the Ravens and Raiders. Now, you had some pretty strong feelings on Marshawn Lynch. Maybe?
Not just Marshawn Lynch, but this Raiders team as a whole. They gave up 30 points to the Ravens, who are not a particularly great team. And not only did they give up 30 points, they only scored 17. And part of that was because Marshawn Lynch carried the ball 12 times and only managed to get 43 yards out of it, which is not completely awful, but it's definitely not good. It's not something that you expect out of someone who you thought would be able to come in and help revitalize that run game and to complement your passing game. But now with Derek Carr out, and I believe he will be out for at least another 2 or 3 weeks.
They're trying to add this element, and I think it's just for practice purposes that he'll be back any week now. It more on the short end of that stick than the long end. But I would imagine that's a ruse for other teams to have to prepare for Derek Carr, not just E.J. Manuel.
And I mean, their schedule is not if Derek Carr is gone the next, let's just say 2 weeks.
Yeah,
they're playing Chargers, and while the Chargers are bad, that's a division game that will always be played tough by both teams. And if you don't have Derek Carr, you very well might lose that.
The Chargers are going to be a tough out for anybody.
Yeah.
Their record is not truly indicative of who they are as a team.
But after that, they got to play Kansas City, and that's almost certainly a loss if they don't have Derek Carr back. And then you got to go to Buffalo, who's already beaten one AFC West team this year in the Broncos. And if that's, without Derek Carr, that's going to be a toss-up too.
Well, with Buffalo's strength comes a stingy, blue-collar, roughing-you-up defense that plays directly against the Raiders, what used to be their best component, which was their offense. And their defense, you just had to live with it as the offense drug along the defense to wins. Mm-hmm. Now, without Derek Carr, you're just completely handicapped at what used to be a strength of yours.
And really, if you look at the Raiders' schedule the rest of this year, they have no favors. They have to play the Patriots, they have to play Broncos, they have to play Giants, Chiefs, Cowboys, Eagles, and finish the year in with the Chargers. Which will probably still be a home game.
Yeah, the only gimme in that slate is really the Giants, and even then, I could see that being a competitive, tough last-minute field goal.
The Giants have absolutely they don't have the wins, but they're
going to win one game. You don't know where it's going to be.
At some point, they will go on a hot streak.
Yeah.
And normally, if it's a Giants team, it will be at the end of the year. So I'm very worried about the Raiders. I know a ton of people picked them to win this division. ton of people picked them to make it to the AFC Championship.
Yeah, we picked them as both of one of our wild cards early in the year.
And most of us, not most of us, some of us even had them as Super Bowl contenders.
Yeah.
And without Derek Carr, they might fall far enough behind to where even the playoffs are going to be a stretch with how Denver and Kansas City are performing.
It's definitely going to only get harder from here. When we thought preseason that this team, speaking of the Raiders, that they would be the lone team to possibly dethrone the Patriots' oncoming dynasty, things have changed, and there is now nuance to that discussion. The Raiders aren't as good, Patriots aren't as good, and now it's really kind of just a jumble. We have no idea who's going to win the Super Bowl as of this moment. There's no guarantee. There's no Warriors. There's no guaranteed finals matchup. We don't know, and that's going to be an interesting litmus test going forward. For the Ravens, any positives to be taken out of this outside of just the lone fact that they won?
I would really just say that was it. Nobody else played especially great. I mean, the defense was going up against E.J. Manuel and a very old, out-of-shape Marshawn Lynch, so they shouldn't be taking too much pride in that. And
they had a substantial lead going into halftime. They had, I believe, a 20-6 lead or something, 21-6. And they just druthered that away until finally the Raiders came back, and it was a closer than necessary game.
They had a 24-10 lead.
Yeah.
And then
druthered it away. And even their running back by committee, I don't know. I don't like. And Joe Flacco, I hesitate to attribute all of it to just off-season shoulder surgery. I don't know if it's just finally all these injuries have heaped up on him, and now he's, I don't even want to say washed up, but he's certainly a lesser version of what he has been in the past.
Is he, though?
Oh gosh, is it the end all be all of, is Joe Flacco elite?
First of all, Joe Flacco has never once in his entire life been elite at the NFL level. He's always, don't get me wrong, I do not think I don't think he was ever a bad quarterback, but he was never a top 5 quarterback for me, ever. And at his best, he might have been able to sniff out 5, but even then, that's me just basically giving him pity points because he had a good enough defense and run game to win the Super Bowl. And a power outage to win the Super Bowl.
Well, that was brought on by Beyonce, but continue.
But to me, that team just has nowhere to go. It's going nowhere, and it's going nowhere pretty fast. Even with this win, maybe because that division is just an utter joke with how bad everybody's been playing.
Everybody's been underperforming. I mean, the Steelers still stand on top of that division with a 3-2 record and hold the tiebreaker over the Ravens, who also are at 3-2. It's an interesting division because we've counted out the Cincinnati Bengals at 2-3. They're only a game behind. As bad as they've been,
yeah.
Every team in that division. Well, I'm sorry, the Browns are gone. But I'm sorry. Let me stop myself there before I begin my soliloquy. But every other team in that division certainly has a chance to win this division. I would not be shocked to see the Cincinnati Bengals win it with an 8-8 record. I would not be shocked to see the Baltimore Ravens win with a 9-7 record. Pittsburgh Steelers win with a 10-6 record.
I'm not sure if Pittsburgh's getting the 10 wins this year.
Oh, you're so disrespectful of them.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about that later.
But I will say, Derek Carr, just as a final note, and a nice little segue for you. Derek Carr is clearly the MVP of that team in the Raiders, and they need him back if they want a shot. But speaking of MVPs, in that Green Bay-Dallas game, who did you have as your MVP? Because I'm going to tell you right now, I think you're going to have the wrong person.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think Well, okay. There's two ways to do MVP.
You gotta go with your gut here.
Well, am I saying the MVP of the win or the MVP of the loss? Because the MVP of the loss...
Of the win.
Okay, the MVP of the win is definitely Aaron Rodgers.
No, you're wrong.
How do you figure?
Aaron Jones had 19 carries for 125 yards.
Wrong. Hashtag wrong.
And a touchdown.
Fake rushes.
That team had a run game for the first time in possibly 28 and a half years.
Give me this. Why on earth? Well, no, Eddie Lacy was a legitimate running back
For half a season.
Yes, okay. But the point is, why? To what sense did it ever make to transform Ty Montgomery into a running back? I think they got too lost in the woods, and just because of injuries, depleted them so badly that they were forced to do something, and then eventually they just said, you know what, this Kool-Aid's pretty good. I think I'm going to continue drinking it. What?
The Ty Montgomery to running back, I don't have a problem with. Ty Montgomery staying at running back, I don't have a problem with. Ty Montgomery staying running back when you have 3 other running backs on your roster, that was where I started to draw the line. Like, I get it, they're rookies.
Last year they were injured beyond...
Yeah, last year made
so it was a move of desperation.
But this year, you have running backs. I get it, they're young, they're inexperienced, you're worried. But Aaron Jones just proved that he can be the feature back here. He at least proved that he deserves a shot at the role.
How sure are you, though, against that Dallas defense?
That's why I'm saying he deserves a shot.
Okay.
I think he has proven he deserves at least the ability to go out and compete and not be buried at the bottom of the depth chart when you're letting Ty Montgomery be your savior at running back. That's where you need to step up and you need to give Aaron Jones the chance. Aaron, as some people like to refer to him.
Yeah, those people are undeserving of a nickname for Aaron. But
what does that even mean?
That means he does not deserve a nickname as of yet. Let's cool it down. I'm gonna take the judge opinion that you have on Aaron Jones after one game against the Dallas Cowboys.
By the way, I know we're gonna stick with football today.
Yeah.
But just as a quick aside, I still do not think Judge deserves his own section in the Yankee Stadium.
Judge's Court is phenomenal.
No,
make baseball fun again.
Love the idea, and I don't have a problem with it eventually being a thing.
Him deserves.
He's a rookie.
Okay. Back to football. You know who the MVP of the loss is, and it's unfortunate, but it has to befall upon somebody. Dak Prescott ran in way too soon. They gave way too much time. I realized that the Packers only had one timeout left. But 1 minute and 16 seconds, I believe, was the final.
Let me tell you this. 30 seconds is too much time for Aaron Rodgers, if we're being honest.
But it's harder. It's harder. The margin of error is certainly
absolutely
quantifiably larger, except when you have 1 minute and 16 with a timeout for Aaron Rodgers to drive down the field. And it wasn't even a discussion of whether they were getting to overtime. As soon as they got the ball, they knew they were going to overtime. It was just a question of, will they be able to score a touchdown to avoid overtime? And I think this is one of the few moments where Dak showed his rookie ability. I understand nothing's guaranteed. They needed to score a touchdown. A field goal would not have sufficed at that particular point. But they still gave way too much time. And with Ezekiel Elliott, one of the best running backs, you can certainly step out at the 1 yard line or at least take a knee down at the 1 yard line, something to just milk that clock before.
I disagree. Just because I am you got to get the touchdown if you have it. It'd be one thing if the field goal was good enough, but right there, I'm not taking any chances. I'm not taking the chance of a botch snap, of something going wrong with the handoff, of somebody just getting in there and ripping it out. I'm not taking that chance. I know he had way too much time, especially with the timeout. You got to get the touchdown right then and there.
There's a difference between having Green Bay's defense beat me versus having Aaron Rodgers beat me. I'm fine with letting Green Bay's defense beat me, especially when I have Ezekiel Elliott And Des Bryant, whose lone positive in his game left is that he is still a jump ball specialist. That's his specialty. Both of those people, Ezekiel Elliott as well as Des Bryant, even if you wanted to run a rear naked bootleg to the back to where Dak just keeps it a la Peyton Manning. Gotta always bring him in every show. But anyways, if you have him just run it in the back, sneak it in, and just score a touchdown there, I'm fine with that. I think that I would much rather take my chances to hold a strategical time advantage and force the Green Bay defense to beat me, as opposed to and getting 1 yard to just win, as opposed to having the chance to let my awful Dallas defense. Sans Orlando Scandrick, Sean Lee, missing a lot of important pieces late in a high-scoring game that's been nothing but high octane and I'm sure heavy on the fatigue. I would much rather elect to just milk the clock and take it down to at least 30 seconds, some reasonable amount of time that you can rest easy in knowing that at bare maximum you're going to overtime with a field goal, some miracle field goal, as opposed to giving the ball back to Aaron Rodgers. Now, with that being said, we move along to this upcoming week, and as of this recording, it's Thursday, October 12th. And the third quarter has not yet started, but we are at a tie game on Eagles-Panthers. Now, this game is going to come back around. Does it make your most interesting game of the week for Week 6, Luke?
No, it does not. I feel like it's just kind of one good game that happens this week. But to me, it's not the most interesting game of the week. For me, the most interesting game of the week. Are you sitting down, Phil? I know you are.
But emotionally, I'm pulling up a seat near a bonfire.
Are you bracing yourself?
If you say something, I'm gonna slap you.
I think we both know where this is heading.
Don't you dare.
Patriots Jets.
What?
Most interesting game of the week.
How dare Bill Belichick put out some Jell-O and call it bacon when he says the Jets have a team that forces a game plan that forces you to not make mistakes. You have to beat them. That's utterly ridiculous. That's slapping me in the face and saying it's raining.
All I'm saying is that they have the same record, and the Patriots are lucky to have the same record as the Jets.
I will concur with you there.
The Patriots right now should be 1-4.
Yeah, the Saints win was the only legitimate, non-controversial win.
They should have lost against the Bucs, and they should have lost against Houston. So you are literally looking at a Patriots team that's supposed to be 1-4. The Jets team won those 3 games. They might not have been pretty by any. Well, one of them was kind of, I guess, pretty, but for the most part, they weren't pretty.
for Jets standards, they were pretty.
But they at least won the games. Patriots basically just got lucky and had the other team. Do you remember
who their wins were against?
The Jets?
Yeah, I have it right here. So
Titans?
No,
I'm trying to remember who they played.
Yeah, it's ridiculous who they beat.
Chargers?
No. Dolphins. Jaguars. And Browns.
Okay. But was one of them a blowout?
Closest to a blowout was 20-6 against the offensively inept Dolphins.
I'd say that's a blowout. 20-6.
That's a 2-touchdown blowout.
Yeah.
I suppose, if we're being modest, I'd go with 3 scores. But anyways.
But again, I do not necessarily think that the Jets are winning, but they are at home, and this is prime upset territory. The Patriots are not a good team this year. They're just not.
Which AFC East foe would you say always plays which one is their nemesis? If they all suck.
The Jets. Oh, absolutely the Jets.
See, I would say the Dolphins are guaranteed 1 win a year against them.
The Jets have, ever since
Rex Ryan always play them hard.
Yeah.
But if I had to pick a nemesis, I'd say that they always lose at least 1 game to the Dolphins.
I'd go Jets.
But fair enough. So that's all to be said that the Jets are not winning. They're on the line is -9 for New England. I don't care that I've seen the Patriots up to now. Context is not legitimate here. It is not accepted. We do not accept nuance. We do not accept proven record. We do not accept that the Patriots have a defense that all of a sudden showed up and then an offense and they flipped the script. All of a sudden now they have a no offense and a defense. I don't care. I don't care about any of that. All I know is that in the history of mankind, it will not be written down that a 3-2 Patriots team lost to a rebuilding Jets team that should have the number 1 overall pick as of right now for next year.
Just answer me one question.
I will answer you 10.
Okay.
Okay.
This will be my first one.
Okay.
We'll have 5 later on and give me 5, so I've got 4 to play with.
Okay, yes.
I want you to think of that Patriots team, okay? The offense, the defense, the special teams.
Okay.
Name me
Dynastic.
3 Pro Bowlers.
3 Pro Bowlers. Okay, Tom Brady, obviously.
Yep. There's your 1.
I've got Gronkowski.
I'll give it to you, but I'll say it's questionable because it's possible. Skill-wise, it's not a doubt. Health-wise, I don't know if he will be able to play enough games by the end of the year to be considered it, but I'll give you Gronkowski.
You know the other one that I'm going to go with, kind of off the charts, but makes sense once you think about it? Chris Hogan.
No.
He's the only Patriot to have, 4 games with at least a touchdown, 1 touchdown pass. He's been an adequate.
He's not even their leading receiver.
But he's getting it done in there. And as far as production-wise.
Yeah, but again, that's just because he can score a touchdown a game doesn't mean he should necessarily be a Pro Bowler. Especially considering how many other Pro Bowl caliber wide receivers are in the AFC.
This is all to say, though, that...
But my point in asking the question is you had 1 for sure, 1 questionable depending upon history.
Health
history. And then you couldn't come up with... your 3rd one had to be Chris Hogan, and that one is highly questionable. But they don't have talent. They have no talent.
Dante Hightower is certainly talented.
But he's hurt. He's always hurt. He's been hurt all year. He's not going to make a Pro Bowl this year because he's been hurt. And right now, the Patriots are a team that is either A, hurt, or B, not good.
I will have this all written down, and I'm going to put pins through all these quotes, and I'm going to personally drive up to New England.
Do it.
Boston, Massachusetts, and put it up and say, hey, Mr. Belichick, here's some more bulletin board material you can use on your wall, and he'd say, thanks for doing your job. And he'd say, and then I'd say thank you, and I'd leave, and he'd do his job and win another Super Bowl. Because that's what the Patriots do.
You think they're going to win another Super Bowl this year?
I'm thinking that they're going to come pretty darn close.
You want to bet on that? Right now, I would be willing to bet Patriots don't make it to the Super Bowl.
Don't make it to the Super Bowl.
I will change my my Super Bowl prediction.
Ooh.
And I would say that the Patriots, depending upon how the rest of the season goes, they might not even make it to the AFC Championship.
Oh, well, now I would take that bet.
Okay.
I will take 2 cases of Mountain Dew.
Like 12 packs or like 2 24 packs?
Actually, I don't drink soda, but you know what I'm saying. I'll take a full-on lunch.
Okay.
All right.
A lunch bet?
A lunch bet. Potbellies, here we come. All right, live from Potbellies.
We gotta record that somehow so we remember.
Yes. Well, it'll be in the records. I'll tweet it out so that way it can be retweeted.
Okay. What we need to do is keep a book of just our
bets.
Yeah. Just
hopefully it doesn't
bets.
get that big. All right. My most interesting game of the week, which we've conveniently sidetracked, and for some reason you're just being so incredibly disrespectful. Steelers and Chiefs is absolutely must-see primetime TV. Steelers and Chiefs, are you kidding me? The streak is on the line for the Chiefs.
We're going to kill 2 birds with 1 stone because my lock of the week is Chiefs.
Okay, fantastic. Because the Chiefs, this is going to be a close nail-biter. Should they win, which they might not, I'm not even putting it on there that they will. I'm saying that they might not. Because the Steelers average a better win total of teams when they face teams at 500 and above, meaning they have a winning record, than they do teams that they meet with a losing record. They show up to play their level. They match the level upon which they play. The talent that they play, they match And since the Chiefs are the best team, we're going to see the best version of the Steelers right now. They are the lone team that no team ever wants to beat, or see, rather. If they're on a streak, they're doing well, they're coming in hot, because you cannot take the Steelers for granted. The Chiefs, be on lookout this week in Arrowhead Stadium.
Nah, this is my lock of the week. Chiefs -4. Go ahead. I'll give you -7.
Ooh!
We're being honest.
So disrespectful.
Ben Roethlisberger has been terrible on the road for the past 3.5 seasons. You're going into Kansas City, which is notorious for one of, if not the best home field advantage.
Between them and Seattle, I forgot who holds the record. I know that they were battling.
The record is Seattle for loudest.
Okay, I know that they keep going back and forth.
Yeah, Kansas City's definitely a very close second. And so you add that in, you add in how well Kansas City's defense has been playing, you add in Alex Smith is becoming more than just a game manager for the offense, you add in so many factors, and not only is Kansas City going to win, this is the game that breaks Roethlisberger.
Whoa.
Not physically,
Yeah.
but mentally and emotionally. This is the game that I think has the potential to end Roethlisberger's career. This could be such a bad beatdown that at the end of the year, Roethlisberger is going to be thinking about whether or not he wants to come back. And he's going to think back. And he's going to think about how he threw 5 picks in one game and then proceeded to get wrecked by Kansas City. And he's going to be like, you know what? I'm done. And he's going to take off the boots. He's going to hang them up, and he's never coming back.
All right. Well, we will. We're going to just snip, clip out these video and audio files, and it'll come back next week. We'll see. We'll see how this all turns out. And my least interesting game of the week, I really don't think we're gonna. There's 2 possible ones, but for me, it's a no-brainer when it comes to Monday Night Football. Colts at Titans. If I had to pick a winner, I'm choosing the Colts, but really, in the end, who cares? And this game just lacks any oomph. I mean, it's interesting in the fact of maybe an interesting AFC South chase to the Texans, who all of a sudden are out their 2 top leading pass rushers with Whitney Mercilus and J.J. Watt for season-ending injuries of this past Sunday night, which was absolutely devastating. But beyond that, the Colts are just wading water until Andrew Luck comes back, if he comes back. And then the Titans, they might not even have Marcus Mariota, and with that sans Marcus Mariota, they are just a defeated, limping noodle of a team.
My least interesting game of the week, 49ers at Redskins. This game is so uninteresting, I don't even have reasons for it. The Niners are trash. Redskins are 2-2, but I mean...
They're the best 2-2 team right now.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, they're the only one, because...
Yeah, I don't want a very few. But just in general, I mean, I'm just not impressed with anything they've done, really.
The 49ers or the Redskins?
The Redskins. They've shown flashes.
And they've had grit. They're a really gritty team.
They've shown grit. They've had flashes, but nothing enough to make me think, oh my God, these guys are going to do so well come the end of the year and then come playoff time. So to me, it's just
Most significant game of the week to me, which is going to hold the most merit, going to be the most meaningful, is going on right now. 18-10, Eagles are leading. Most significant game of the week. Whoever wins this, I keep saying this about the Eagles because they're already legitimate, but just keep on notching wins under your belt. And if they keep doing this and keep going forward and just win, baby, win, I don't know that they're not going to be the representative for the NFC in the Super Bowl this year. They're going to have to face at some point Aaron Rodgers, I'm sure, but
Ron.
Gosh. But I really want to see whether or not the Panthers are a legitimate 4-1 or just a lucky by circumstance 4-1. You, sir, most significant game of the week.
Really, I was considering doing what you did, but to change it up, I'm gonna go Rams Jaguars. For kind of the same basic principles I've been going with lately, is just both of the. To me, the Rams are a good team. I've said it. I'm pretty sure I said it last week. I'll say it again. The Rams are a good team. The Jaguars, I'm not sure about yet. So it'll be interesting to see them play each other. This will be a good competitive game featuring two teams that...
whose advantage goes against the other's advantage.
Yeah. So
Strength on strength.
I'll be interested to see who can come out on top. And this is actually... I can't believe I'm going to say this, but this is one of the games I'm looking forward to watching on Sunday.
And who would have thought coming into this season?
Who would have... If you had said 4 years ago... I can't wait to watch Rams and Jaguars. You might have been stoned alive in the streets.
Well, 4 years ago, it would be the St. Louis Rams against the Jaguars, so I don't
I'm not sure why that would make it any different.
Well, yeah. Just because I always come to you for interesting and seeing what means something and what doesn't. Does this mean anything? The Rams are 2-0 away from home, and the Jaguars are 1-1. That mean anything? Either one of those?
The Jaguars are 1-1 at home?
Yeah.
Not really. It's such a small sample size.
Okay.
That, especially for Jaguars, they're an inconsistent team to begin with, so I'm not really that surprised.
Lock of the week. You've already done yours with
Yep.
the Chiefs being so disrespectful. Mine, I'm going to go disrespectful to all the home fans here. Tampa Bay -1.5. Good gracious. Run.
That wasn't close.
Run. Take that. Bet the house. I just cannot imagine a more lockier lock of the week. I don't understand how the Buccaneers, again, it's pretty close on them and the Redskins on who's the better 2-2 team. The Buccaneers, I'm waiting for them to click. I'm waiting for them to unload, but they're still going, wading water as they're trying to get through this tough part of their schedule. This is the lone good, easy game that they should theoretically win. And the Cardinals, all they've got is just now Adrian Peterson, which was a flashy move. I don't know how utterly effective it'll be, and it's not going to take hold in 1 week. But Buccaneers -1.5, definitely a win.
AP will make or break the Cardinals season. I don't think he's as washed as some people like to say he is.
No. He just was ill-used in New Orleans.
Not just that, the past, 2 years now, he's been hurt, or he was hurt,
mismanaged
in Vikings at the end of his Vikings career, and then in New Orleans he was literally only getting 4 touches a game, and when you're a running back, especially one with the same kind of run and play style as AP, you need more than that. So no, I don't think he'll come in and I don't think he's ever going to break 2,000 yards or anything like that ever again. But I do think that if he has he could easily get close. Even though we're 5 games in, he might be able to get close to that 1,000-yard mark. He might be able to get 8 or 9 touchdowns. He might be a good component of a run game for the Cardinals. So be on the lookout for him. He's not as washed as some people like to say he is. #Boomer Sooner.
There we go. All right, as we do at the end of our segments every week, we're gonna revisit our list. Our dead in the water list, so it seems. So far on our list this year, we've got Browns, 49ers, Bears, Jets, Chargers, Bengals, and the Giants. After this last week's slate of games, are there any teams you want to officially add to our dead in the water, not going anywhere this year list?
No, actually, I think this is a pretty clean week. I don't know if there's really anything to add.
I have one candidate, because I think that teams such as the Jets, obviously we can't kill. We can't. We have killed them already, but
how have we killed the Jets?
It was early in the season.
They're tied for the lead in their division.
They're done. But really, we only have a couple candidates. But the one candidate I think we might be able to both agree on, the Dolphins.
Have we not killed the Dolphins yet?
The Dolphins are not dead. They are still floundering around.
They're 2-2. They're not. I don't think they're dead.
That offense is so bad.
I think if you give it more time, Cutler and Gase connection can can work something. I'm not willing to say they're dead yet.
Okay.
They're 2-2.
I agree.
They're one game behind everyone else in that division. Literally.
And if they win, they'll actually be at the same record as the Jets and the Patriots at it for a time being.
And Buffalo. Literally, the entire division could have 3 wins depending upon time and when games end. So I'm not willing to kill them yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're close. They're really close.
Let's be honest, though. Right now, Miami should have a better record than New England.
Yeah. The Dolphins, ironically, I don't even know how they're winning these games. And against the Falcons was a pretty close one that I wanted to do lock of the week, but it's been ticking upwards, and minus 12.5, just a bit too much. I don't know when, but that Dolphins team should get an offense. It should work at some point in time because they have an offensive head coach who likes to have his hands on everything, and I don't understand what's going wrong. And if he doesn't understand it all season long, that's more indicative of a head coach than I would say the team itself.
Yep.
So, after this, we will do a little Gimme 5 after this quick short break, and we'll bring in Ruby for a little outsider's opinion on these Gimme 5 questions. Right after this. How do you say give me 5 in Spanish?
Dame 5.
There we go. And that's why, for Spanish
Tu
commentary,
habla español?
Sí.
mucha español
Ooh.
is Ruby. All right. Yeah, the other day she called me not Mexican. It was rather rude.
It's because he was going to go get my tacos and he doesn't know how to order them. So I didn't want him to mess up my taco order.
Cilantro, onion, meat.
No onion. Gross.
Okay, well then she's not Mexican.
Whoa.
She has like pickles.
That's disgusting.
That makes no sense.
All right.
No,
this is
for
Give Me
it.
5, the part of the show where I've got 5 questions for you, Luke, and you've got 5 questions for me. We don't know what they are, but we will answer them honestly. Ruby, who gets to go first this week?
Luke.
All right, go ahead, Luke.
Okay, well I'm going to start us off with a little fun game.
Oh, yay!
And
Yay!
this is going to be about the Buffalo Bills.
Oh, Ruby.
There's a song about them.
This is not about the song about the Buffalo Bills. This is about
Bills Mafia.
how much the Buffalo Bills eat
Okay.
per week.
Okay.
So remember, all of these numbers that I will be giving you will be per week.
Okay.
So what's going to happen is I'm going to give you 3 numbers of a certain type of food, and you have to guess which number is how much that their cafeteria sells per week.
Per week.
Their
got it.
cafeteria?
Yes.
Yeah, all the teams have like a cafeteria.
For like the
Mine.
players and the staff members and everything.
Got it.
Okay, so our first food, rotisserie chicken. Does the Bills cafeteria sell 500 pounds, 700 pounds, or 900 pounds of rotisserie chicken per week?
Well, that would beg the question of how much does a rotisserie chicken pound weigh? Probably only going to be like.
Rotisserie pound chicken is roughly a pound.
I hate them so much. All right, so it's probably going to be.
700.
I was thinking 700. I'll go the over. I'll go 900.
Go 900?
Yes.
And you're going 700?
Yeah.
We're off to a good start for Ruby.
Oh.
700
usual.
I wanted to
pounds
say 700.
of rotisserie chicken per week. Our next menu item, salmon.
Salmon.
Ooh.
A lot of the coaches are into fish now. So
Salmon sounds so good.
Do they sell roughly 275 pounds of salmon? 375 pounds of salmon? Or 475 pounds of salmon per week?
Salmon is very light. So, like, a fillet of salmon is... Why are you giving me that face?
Which one are you going to go with, Ruby?
And you go first, because you piggybacked off of my answer.
And I got it wrong, but 275 for me.
That's
275?
what I'm thinking, but I'll go 375.
Final answers, 275, 375?
Yes.
Ruby, you should have gone with your gut. It was 275.
All right, 1 and 1.
By
Our-
default.
1 and 1.
Our next item,
Yeah.
grass-fed beef from New Zealand.
Okay.
Wow.
That's a
Yes.
specialty item to be sure.
What team is this?
Buffalo Bills.
Uh,
Is it 350 pounds of beef, 550 pounds of beef, or 950 pounds of beef
Per week.
per week?
Some of those offensive linemen can really put away a hamburger.
900.
I'm gonna go, it was 700, 800, 900.
50, but yes.
Yeah. I'm gonna go 750.
Wait, what options did you say you think they were?
700, 800, and 950.
No, 500, 700, 900.
Oh, 500, 700. Okay, so then I'm gonna go
900.
I'm gonna go 500.
You're going 550, you're going 950?
Yes.
Philip, you are correct. It's 550 pounds of beef from New Zealand. They gotta watch that red meat.
Yeah.
But it's so good.
Next, changing it up a little bit, smoothies. How many ounces of smoothies do they sell per week at the Buffalo Bills cafeteria? Is it 7,000 ounces, 7,200 ounces, or 7,500 ounces? Maybe put them all close together.
Right.
I'm trying to think.
I'll go 7,500
Ounces.
because I think that those berries are gonna weigh a lot. So I'm gonna go 7,500. How about you, Ruby?
What are the options?
7,000, 7,200, or 7,500.
72.
Ruby has tied it up. We are at 2-2. It was 7,200 ounces of smoothies.
Darn it! All right.
This one, last
Could be the
one, this is the tiebreaker. Possibly, yes. You guys might, I guess, both be wrong or both be right.
There we go.
But this one I just found super interesting. Almond butter. The article I read did not specify what the almond butter was for.
Probably the smoothies.
It could be smoothies. They might have been cooking with it.
That too.
There's a lot that it didn't specify. It just
Bread
gave
and
me
almond
how
butter.
much.
Right.
So we're going pounds of almond butter. Is it 35, 70, or 105 pounds of almond butter? And again, I do not know what exactly all they used it for.
Yes.
So for all I know, it could have just been smoothies, or maybe they put a little bit of it in everything.
Ruby?
I don't want to go first. What were the
35, 70, 105.
I'm thinking 35.
All right. I'm gonna go the complete opposite of you. I'm saying 105. They
Really?
use it to grill. They use it to cook.
You
they
can't use it. No, it's 35.
Oh, they use it for everything.
You want to bet?
We'll find out right here. Here we go.
Are you gonna place your bets before?
No, we're good.
You want to bet dinner on it?
No, but yeah, sure. We'll bet dinner on it. Loser.
Tomorrow's dinner.
Oh no, we're good.
As if you guys wouldn't have dinner ever again.
I know. This is the make all break all.
Yeah.
Last supper.
So we have Philip going with 105.
It's 35.
And Ruby going with 35. Ruby gets a dinner. It is 35 pounds of almond butter.
That's a lot of butter,
That
Philip.
is a lot of butter. Well, do you not see how much
You
those
can't
offensive
cook
linemen
with
weigh?
almond butter.
You can if you're inventive. All right. To promote its new delivery pouches, and Luke, I know that you're gonna love this one.
Oh my god, no.
That are made with 3 layers of insulation,
Don't you say
including the heat-trapping 3mm thinsulate material. Pizza Hut designed a parka
I hate you
made out of the same
so
material.
much.
Each parka includes a
I am going to
weather-resistant
leave
outer covering,
this fucking
quote-unquote heat-sealed seams, Velcro, and are lined in the same materials that are inside the delivery pouches. The apparel also includes a smartphone-sized flap that allows consumers to use their phone while wearing the jacket, pockets to stash packets of Parmesan and red pepper flakes, and splash guards to stop marinara sauce from swishing around. Folks who placed pizza orders through the brand's website, mobile app, or tweet the pizza and flame emojis at the brand's account through October will be entered for a chance at winning one of these parkas. Luke and Ruby, Smart or dumb idea by Luke's former employer.
Dumb.
Luke.
The park was for the delivery drivers? Is that
Yeah,
what it was?
it's for anybody.
But it was specifically designed for delivery drivers, is what...
But why would you want a jacket
anybody.
made for
It's
a
a
pizza?
parka.
Yes.
You know,
If you look
my
But
sweater.
all of the features you have told me about made it seem like it was designed for a delivery driver, and then they just happened to be willing to sell it to consumers.
You know, I recently bought a sweater that turns into a backpack.
Yeah, she did.
I will just say this is the dumbest thing on earth because there are so many other things. As a former
Yes.
Pizza Hut employee, there are so many other things that Pizza Hut needs to improve on. The fact that they sat down and wasted their time and money to make a parka just infuriates me.
So then here comes my second question, which it actually is different than the first. Will the Pizza Hut parka be a successful promotion?
No.
Okay.
Because do you know how many people I've seen wear Pizza Hut apparel outside of my work?
0.
Yeah, it's not
One.
a very...
And it was a former employee on laundry day.
On laundry day. All right, go ahead, Lucathy.
First of all, don't ever call me that.
That's fair.
All right.
Okay, so earlier, Game 5 of the NLDS between the Chicago Cubs and the Washington Nationals. I think it's still going on, but I think the Cubs have it pretty well in hand at this point. Last I checked.
Last I checked, the Nationals were ahead 5-4.
Well, you checked a while ago. Because last I checked, it was 7-5 Cubs.
We'll see.
No, we won't. I know it's at least 7-5 Cubs.
All right.
Yeah?
I'm still looking it up. Anyways, your point is...
My point is, they had to play their game. Yeah, what is it?
7-4.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So they had to play Game 4 yesterday, and then in Washington, and then immediately travel to.
Reverse it. Tonight is in Washington.
Tonight's in Washington. Okay, yesterday they had to play in Chicago, and then travel straight to Washington afterwards. They didn't have their usual travel day.
Right.
So the reason why is because the day that they were supposed to have Game 4, there was a lot of rain. And TBS refused to let the game be played early enough to make sure that they could get the game out of the way before the rain. TBS would allow them to start earlier, but they weren't allowed to start early enough to avoid it. It was basically, this is the earliest you can start, and MLB was like, well, we're not going to start then because if we start then, we're probably just going to have to stop from the rain anyways, and then it's not going to work. So my question to you is, how stupid is it that TBS pushed back they had to refund their advertising money at some point because you had a bunch of people paying advertising money for Game 4 of the NLDS, and instead they got reruns of Big Bang Theory. So how dumb of it was TBS to not just start the game earlier?
It's pretty dumb. Just from every angle outside of money, which is an interesting angle in and of itself, this does not make sense. From the player's point of view, you are more prone to injuries if you don't have a rest day. From the travel day, it doesn't make sense to have it back to back because it just, outside of money, there is no logical reason for them to have scheduled it this way. Even the way that the playoffs are now scheduled, what is it, 2-3-2?
No, it's 2-2-1.
2-2-1. Yeah, 2-2-1. It completely minimizes the advantage of the home field advantage. Like for the NLCS, aren't they doing 2-3-2?
2-3-2?
Yeah, I believe that's the format now. Which I think is completely unfair. It should be 2-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1.
Actually, no. I think they just switched to 2-2-1-1-1.
I thought that it was reversed, but they just switched to 2-3-2. Anyways,
yeah.
As we find that out and build a researcher on that, it's unfortunate that when politics and finances come into play for sports, when they say, politics creep into sports or outside sources creep into sports, it's never just that creeps into sports. Money actually affects a substantial amount of what happens and what we see on the field that is an outside influencer of what happens in games and how they are shown.
It is 2-3-2 for the championship series. Because I know basketball still does the 2-2-1-1-1.
Right. Well, they just switched. Yeah, they switched.
And that to me is the better way to do it. I mean, I kind of understand what they're saying. I do think it helps with travel time, but at the same time, in today's day and age, you don't really need that much help with travel to begin with.
Yeah, you're taking private jets everywhere.
Especially not for the championship series. Maybe if you want World Series and you're just looking to guarantee as much, home games as possible, maybe. But no, I'm with you.
Luke, Diddy used to have a dream. He used to dream of owning an NFL team, but now he says his dream is to straight up buy the entire league.
Well, that's not feasible.
Of course, the league isn't for sale, but you should still hear him out. Diddy first quote-tweeted facts on a tweet sent by CNN's Keith Boykin, which read, "Black players are 70% of the NFL. We have the power to defend Colin Kaepernick and Jamel Hill from the forces that would silence them. Then Diddy sent out a series of tweets regarding his dreams for the NFL, which include a league where you can be yourself, have freedom to be a great human, and protest for your people without being demonized for your beliefs." Luke, would a Diddy rival league of football work? And beyond that, if you could buy any league, which league would you want to own?
First of all, nothing will ever rival the NFL.
They've tried so many times.
It has happened several times.
In several different formats.
And it just doesn't work. The NFL is too ingrained in today's society
as the only legitimate source of football.
Yes. There's just it's going to be physically impossible to ever make something that rivals the NFL for football in the United States. It's just not going to happen. What league? So if I own the whole league?
Yeah, you could own the entire league or the whole division if you so choose. So if, say, you wanted to own college football, you could own college football.
I would own the NFL because it's the biggest, it's the most profitable, and it's the one that everyone will pay attention to at some point or another. And it's the one I think you can, if you do it right, you can make it last the longest. If not the NFL, I'd go basketball. NFL, I think the only downside to it is you have to manage it right, otherwise it's not going to last long enough for you, and it's only the U.S.
You know what I choose?
FIFA,
there you go. Yeah, that's an interesting one.
I just hate soccer.
It's so vast as well that it's really hard. It's almost
FIFA's not a
boxing.
league though.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of leagues come together, and even then they're still separate.
I would say it's an organizer of events rather than an actual league.
Right. I would say if I had my druthers, I would choose actually MLB, which is weird for me to say, but I feel that I would know, maybe I'm just overestimating myself, but I would make changes to help make the league more entertaining and more enticing to the fans at a younger generation while still maintaining what it is that has baseball. Plus, it actually has the most potential to be monetarily wealthy for you, since just the sheer volume of games guarantees a certain amount. I think that it has the most upside because it's such a downplayed product, but yet it's still such a powerful brand. You could take it to unknown places. Your turn.
Okay, so JJ Watt is yet again. Is he out for the whole season?
Yeah, he already had surgery.
So JJ Watt, for probably I think the 10th time out of his 5-year career, or however long it is out for the whole season.
I think it's actually 3 years running, but yes.
But if we're being realistic, he is arguably one of, if not the most dominant and greatest defensive player in the league right now.
That is true.
And the conversation's been brought up because at this point you don't know how many years left he has.
It could be a career-ending injury.
Yeah. So a lot of people have been bringing it up. Is J.J. Watt a Hall of Famer? Because he falls under that unique category that several others have fallen under. Most recently, Terrell Davis.
Terrell Davis was my number
Yep.
thought on this.
But there have been others in the past
Sterling
who,
Sharp.
yep, who definitely easily have the talent to be in a Hall of Fame caliber player, but for whatever reason, whether it be injuries, bad systems, something or another, have not been able to play long enough for some people to put them in the Hall of Fame. Would you put JJ in the Hall of Fame?
I would say his impact was certainly was felt more in such a his highest highs were excruciatingly beyond what any other mere mortal could do. It was when he was at his peak. He was up for MVP discussion in an era that is offensively driven. The fact that he was up for MVP, that not even that he won, which I actually think he should have won that year, and I believe that was even a year over Peyton Manning. So that's just how much respect I had and continue to have for him. I think shows a lot about how good a player he was. He even exceeded the mantra of just being a good defensive lineman. At a time, he lined up as tight end. He intercepted as well as swat balls away as well as rushing the passer, which he came darn close to breaking a couple records. And he also played linebacker at times. He was and he could move around the line and affect games by his lonesome and help to make that Houston Texans defense have a legitimacy that it severely lacked in a time where their offense was just abysmal. He was the lone reason why they were any good, which is an astounding feat for a defensive player in this day and age. So I would say yes.
I want them to make they kind of do it informally, but I want them to just go ahead and create an official an official section of the Hall of Fame for every sport. That is basically, these players deserve to be in the Hall of Fame, but because they had injury problems, they didn't get to make it in. And I think that would solve a lot of problems. Because I think you deserve to get in. I think he deserves to get in the Hall of Fame, but I think he deserves an asterisk. I think he definitely deserves. Same thing with Terrell Davis. He's one of only 6 players to ever get 2,000 yards in a single season, and he did it playing with a Hall of Fame quarterback. He played in the Super Bowl with a migraine, and I think won MVP that year for Super Bowl MVP. So I 100% think that players like Terrell Davis and J.J. Watt, and to be honest, maybe even Rob Gronkowski before it's all said and done.
That actually is becoming more and more of a reality.
I think those players deserve to get into the Hall of Fame, but I do think they deserve an asterisk as well. Just a little injury-prone Hall of Fame. I don't know. I know a lot of people are against it. Like,
you're in the Hall of Fame? Yeah, I'm in the IHOF. Yeah. It's like IHOP, but IHOF.
So I think he should get in, but I do think they should put asterisks next to those kind of players.
So, Luke, I was scrolling through Twitter the other day, and I found this nugget that I just wanted to share with you. Darren Rovell, might know him, might have heard of that guy.
DR,
yeah. Tweeted out a photo of a man sitting behind home plate at a Marlins game with this captioning: "Pink hat guy, Jim Annixter, is the original Marlins man. Told me he wears a pink hat so his wife knows he's at the game and not cheating." How great is this 5-second story? And is the wife being too extra here? And then finally, would you agree to these terms so you could watch a baseball game? So first, let's hit it out. First one. How great is this 5-second story? Because it's a picture of a man behind home plate. It's beautiful.
Scale of 1 to 10, I give it a 7.
Okay.
It's kind of a cool story, but I've heard it before, and it's just, it's kind of cool. What's the second part?
Second part. Is the wife being too extra here?
If I'm being honest, I'm not even 100% sure the whole background, so maybe not. Maybe the wife has a legitimate reason for wanting this to happen, and to be honest, it's possible the wife didn't even ask for it.
That's true.
It might have just been a joke between the couple. It might have just been an inside joke.
There you go.
You and Ruby are in a relationship. I'm sure you guys have little inside jokes between you two. And this could just be something like that.
Bazooki. All right, and the next one is this. Would you agree to these terms so you could watch a baseball game?
I mean, I guess. Like,
If people know you, you're being embarrassed on national TV.
It's a pink hat. Get over it.
It's not embarrassing to me.
It's the 21st
I don't know.
century.
Some people are embarrassed by it. I'm not saying.
I'm not one of them. And again, if I'm married to someone and they don't trust me to go to a baseball game without a
You've
pink
got
hat,
bigger problems.
There's bigger problems. And more than likely, I would that's my thinking behind this is it's an inside joke between a couple, and that's all it is. Again,
I
think it's
completely agree, 100%. Even if it is real, who cares? It's funny. It's a funny story, and I love it.
if I get that good of seats, sure, I'll wear a pink hat.
Yeah, that's true.
Heck yeah.
That too. You kidding me? All right, go ahead, Luke.
So a couple months ago, ESPN did the smartest business decision they've ever done in their entire life. And they made ESPN HBO show for like a day.
Yes.
Not even a day. Here's what bothers me about it though. They didn't use it to its full potential. They had such long blocks of the same stuff, and it was only for like 8 or 12 hours. And it was kind of dumb. I love the idea.
I forgot even what they had, like bowling with chickens or something.
They had bowling. They didn't have bowling with chickens.
Oh.
They had
Too bad.
They had
Missed opportunity.
cornhole.
Oh yes.
Or sorry, bag tossing because cornhole's like
Derogatory.
no. What? No.
Maybe.
No.
Gets
Because
offended.
it was like it's like how technically Kleenex is Kleenex. Not.
Oh yes.
Yes, it's a.
Facial tissue.
Thank you. It's like it's a
Adhesive
sponsor
wrap
thing.
is a bandit.
Yes. And then they had like dodgeball on for
Yes,
a very
that's right.
brief period and stuff like that. Would you like to see ESPN fully commit and open up another TV channel, just ESPN 8 The Ocho, where they have legitimate ESPN 8 The Ocho programming? It's not a gimmick for one day, but it's something it follows. It doesn't have to be as obscure as the movie Dodgeball, but I mean, if you were to have it follow something more sports like bag tossing or bowling or darts or esports, or
Off the top of my head, I would say no. But the more and more I thought about it, I'm actually disinterested in lower levels of games I like. So when I go to, I don't know, like the College World Series of baseball, I don't care, nor do I know who's good. I would actually be much more interested, and that I think is why so many people flock to the Olympics, because it's just a variety show of sports. I would be interested in seeing shuffling there. I would be interested to see maybe a professional jump rope contest. I mean, I don't know what else you could do, so they're legitimate, but there are interesting games that I think
there's plenty.
if you were able to see legitimate competitions and the best of the best, as funny as it may be, that's why every 4th of July we watch the hot dog eating contest, because as gross and disgusting as it is, it's actually oddly fascinating to watch a car wreck and see somebody stuff 89 hot dogs down their throat and
It's like
throw it off
73,
stage.
but that's cool.
Just when you thought you couldn't fit one more thing in your overstuffed gordita of a closet, Forever 21 teamed up with Taco Bell to bring you a perfectly crispy collection you're probably going to binge shop at 2 a.m. for. The collection is fast food fashion meets fast food and is filled with comfy hoodies, tees, jackets, bodysuits, and iPhone cases for nearly anyone in your family. So Luke, this brought me to question, which food service apparel would you actually want to buy and wear? And I'll exclude Pizza Hut for the time being. Ruby, would you like to comment as well?
Honestly, Forever 21 is a joke. And the fact that they teamed up with Taco Bell is like, all of their clothes is trash, so...
Damn. I wanted to know which one you would just want to, which kind of fast food apparel you would want, but
Chipotle.
there's the scolding apparel Forever 21.
Chipotle.
Okay. Chipotle, there we go. Luke, is there fast food? Red Lobster? Where lobster?
That's not fast food in the slightest.
I actually put food service apparel.
Oh, okay.
Fleming's.
I would rather take a shovel and dig 6 feet deep and then put a gun in my mouth and pull the trigger and wear food service apparel.
To be fair, this isn't like workers.
I don't care.
You don't want to wear a shirt?
No, I do not. I've worked in the food industry for over 2 years. I do not want to wear food service apparel from any restaurant ever. Again,
What if it meant you got like free Chipotle for every time you wore the shirt?
I'd rather dig the whole 5 feet and then pull the trigger.
What if Red Robin
So it helps.
gave you a shirt and said
That's
every time
true.
you wore this, your meal was
Okay,
free?
so here's like the bodysuit.
No, because that's
swimsuit.
okay. I don't
crunch.
know why you think showing me.
Look at
any of
this. This is like taco meat right here.
I don't know.
Are you on Forever 21's
Born
website?
saucy. Yeah. No. No. This is just images.
No.
Look at that. That is
No.
fresh.
They
It's not.
ruin the potential of having a really cute shirt by putting like
No, nothing about this.
I'd rather
is
eat
good.
tacos on it.
Look at this. Look at too much
None
sauce.
of this is
Taco
good.
Bell. Oh, fantastic. So, but okay. So there's nowhere. Not even.
Nowhere.
Philip would wear a Potbelly's shirt.
I would wear Potbelly's.
Good for you. I would not.
All right. Fair enough. Your turn. Your turn, Lukeson.
Are you just deliberately trying to come up with worse and worse names?
Lucaroni.
Oh, God, that's fantastic.
Ruby can call me Lucaroni.
Lucaroni. Okay.
You need to just keep calling me.
I thought Lukai pasta.
No,
Yeah, just
you're trying too hard.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
You need to just take this L and move on.
All right, next one.
Okay. As you may or may not have heard, seen, or listened to, Eminem dropped a freestyle rap diss against.
I believe they call that a cipher in the streets.
Yes, yeah, you can call it a cipher against our president Donald Trump, and everyone blew up about it. I'll be honest, I listened to some of it. It wasn't great. I think part of this was people like hating Donald Trump so much they're willing to take anything anti-Trump and put on a pedestal, which I don't have a problem with. Like some of the bars were pretty good, but overall I don't think it's as great as some people want to make it seem. But it begs the question because Eminem, as his song goes, is a rap god. And not only is he a rap god, he has made quite a few headlines with his diss tracks. He's done it against Ja Rule, most notably. He's had one against Mariah Carey.
Oh,
no.
yes.
Yeah,
You
it
know,
was
when Mariah Carey came back at him and then they went at it.
And it was a joke because Eminem slaughtered Mariah and then proceeded to slaughter Nick on accident.
Right.
So, but again, that was kind of what...
side slaughter is what that is.
That's what Eminem kind of
Drive-by slaughter.
got famous for, was being able to diss people. That's what the Rap Olympics, to my knowledge, kind of was. That's what he did a lot of growing up. He's good at it. So, but recently, maybe a year ago now, actually, now that I think about it, people thought we were about to see Drake versus Eminem in a rap battle. People thought Drake was trying to diss Eminem, that Eminem and them would go back and forth, which I would have loved, because I want to see Eminem slaughter someone. Like a legitimate
In a
rapper.
public setting.
I want it to be a beef, and I want Eminem to show the whole world and remind them I'm me. But my question to you is, if you could see any rap battle, who would it be?
So both parties have to be able to rap?
I mean, in theory, no.
In theory, no.
But I mean, it's going to be a pretty bad rap battle if they can't rap.
That's true.
Taylor Swift and Eminem.
I mean,
Taylor Swift has a rap video with T-Pain, I believe.
I don't know if I'd call that a rap video.
Yeah, but she's terrible, so I want to see Eminem destroy her.
That's perfectly valid reason.
Perfectly valid. That's an interesting one. I'd almost... because as soon as I go through rappers, I'm thinking of everybody, and none of them are really worthy of that outside of Eminem. Because Lil Wayne, I think in real life, outside of auto-tune and all that, would be hard to understand. 50 Cent mutters. I'm trying to think.
And it doesn't have to be Eminem, and it doesn't have to be Eminem against a rapper.
That's true. Maybe, okay, here we go.
A baby.
Eminem v. the baby.
I think he already went up against Donald Trump.
Oh, there we go. Okay, how about this? I want to see John Oliver v. Nick Corbin.
Who's Nick Corbin?
He's like the late night host, the guy who does all the car karaoke.
You mean James Corden?
Sure, him too.
Oh my
he can join in as the sidekick. But no, seriously, I would like to see those two because I think that they're funny and that it would actually be
James
fun.
Corden.
Yes.
So like an epic rap battle of history kind of thing, but between those two?
Yeah.
Yeah, John Oliver's pretty fantastic.
He is.
And plus he's British, so we can get some British rap.
And James Corden is also British.
Yeah, but he's like not as open about it.
That is... You've never watched the show, have you?
I'm kidding, I have. But I just forgot.
But he already has a skit like that.
No, I know he does. Yeah.
So
he
you
invites everybody.
want to incorporate
I want him to incorporate John Oliver.
Yeah, that's a good pick. That's a good pick.
All right.
Surprisingly.
Luke, a Sydney real estate agent, has become a social media star after footage of her picking up a shark in one of the city's beloved ocean pools and throwing it back into the sea went viral. The footage captured with a mobile phone shows Melissa Hathier picked up the child-sized Port Jackson shark in the pool at Oak Park in Cornelia. She then walks a few steps and throws it over the side of the pool into the open ocean, and the incident comes less than a month after the removal of a distressed great white shark from Manly Beach to the nearby Ferry Bower pool captivated onlookers. Luke and Ruby, I want to know if you would have tossed the shark out of the pool, and then afterwards I will go down a list of animals and see if you could man up and toss them like a crispy crust 2-topping medium pizza due in 12 minutes. Are you guys ready?
I hate you.
So we're saying we're tossing them?
Yeah, I just want to see if you can toss them. But first off, I want to ask about the shark.
Do you mean literally toss them, or do you just mean like
this
what I
woman,
say?
This woman, no, you need to grab this animal and toss it back from whence it came.
Okay.
So I am saving them. Like I'm not I'm not randomly abusing animals by picking them up and throwing them.
Well, if the situation arises, I'll give you some situations here. But okay, first off, let's start with the shark. Would you have?
How big was the shark?
It was a child-sized shark. Is my
like child size as in a shark child, or like a baby? like a 2-year-old or a 10-year-old?
Yeah, we're talking like a 6-year-old.
Yeah, I'd probably pick it up and toss it back in. It's small enough to where I wouldn't be that worried.
Okay. Moving on. Would you guys be able to toss a lion out of the shade of a tree on a hot savanna in Africa?
No, that's physically impossible. Lions weigh like 300 pounds. I'm not lifting one up and throwing it.
Wimps.
That's the dumbest.
Could you?
This isn't about me. Could you toss a silverback gorilla out of its nest so you could have a bed for the night?
No. Again, impossible.
Well, maybe if you just shoved it right, it'd just fall down and be paralyzed at the bottom while you get a good night's sleep.
This is literally just asking if we would abuse animals at this point.
Or asking
us to abuse animals.
How strong we are.
Could you toss a full-grown hog out of the mud?
No, because a full-grown hog is like
300 pounds.
Yeah,
like shove, get like a little body.
No, Philip, you picked the bad game.
Alright, could you toss? Okay, this one you can. This one I know for a fact both of you could. It's just whether or not you go, ooh. Could you toss a hawk out of its nest to get some eggs for a breakfast topping?
No.
Toss? No, because it has wings.
Well, it will not be tossed.
And then it will come back and gouge out my eyes.
So you're saying no is what I'm hearing.
100% that is
Luke Wright is a win.
Yes.
Ruby said yes, I think.
I said no.
No, this is...
Because I have common sense.
Is there any more?
That was it.
That might have been the worst game you've ever had in the history of PewDiePie.
Probably top 5 of my games, as a matter of fact. All right, well that will do it. Next week, we're going to tackle a little baseball. We're going to go back, see what our predictions were. See how wrong we were, because I think we both had in the World Series the Indians.
Hella wrong.
I think we both had them.
I'm pretty sure we picked the Mets to get into the wild card.
Yeah, that.
And one of us might have even picked them to win the division.
I think I did. But anyways, so we'll see, and then we'll also talk NLCS, see if it's still going on. At least one of the series will be still going on, hopefully.
I think both of them will be.
theoretically it's the Cubs versus the Dodgers. That one I think might end early.
You think that's going to be 4 games?
Yeah, I think that's only going to be 4.
Even then, when?
Well, they start this weekend. They start Saturday and Sunday are the first 2.
That's right, they do.
So depending on when we go, I suppose is going to be the true determining factor. Anyhow, we'll definitely schedule that in and talk a little baseball next week. We'll see how that goes. I'm pointing to you. We discussed this last time.
What?
You're supposed to say your name.
Okay.
4. Oh my God! One more time with clarity. 4.
Ruby.
Oh, okay.
Luke?
I'm Philip Emmer, thank you so much for listening to another edition of Chopped Greens. Maybe next week we'll be back. Who knows at this point? We're just gaining steam. Here we go.